Hey everyone, my name is Sammy and welcome back to my Stream Theory playthrough of Assassin's Creed 4, where I will be playing the game live while also providing analysis and commentary at the same time. Alright, so we are nearing the end of the game. I think I can feel that ending coming. The whole goal of the game so far, the story has been to look for an artifact known as the Observatory, and indications from both Kenway here, our character, as well as mission. The next what the name of the next mission is that the observatory is in sight. The next main mission is called the observatory. I don't know if this is exactly the last mission, but I do know that getting very close to the end here. So I think that means that I want to prioritize exploration for the time being. I want to finish up this quadrant here. Hopefully, see if this side activity here has spawned or come back. Maybe it will show up at some point. And then let's try and take on these legendary ships. And then I think from that point on, I will do a sprint to the end of the game. Just through mission after mission. That makes the most sense to get exploration out of the way before I get to the end. I don't need to do everything 100%, but I at least want to finish up most of the larger objectives in the quadrant, right? Or on the map in each quadrant. So my goal today is just to finish up the quadrant I'm currently in and any outstanding side quests. Let's see, there was a sync point here that I forgot about. Let's do that now. Right next to it anyway. Alright, this will tell us details about the island in general. This is where we did our last big assassination. Templar, or actually a turncoat pirate who went to the Templar's side, and a former ally called Hornigold was one of like the big shots at Nassau back in let's see, the pirate stronghold, as it were. So, what else is here? Nothing immediately here. There's some more stuff to get this way, so I guess I'll go that way. I didn't get this stuff while I was exploring, or while I was on this island during the mission, because I want to focus entirely on the mission. I knew that when I was done the mission, I'd still have my chance to explore this island at my own pace. I don't want any distractions or interference from that. And that allows me to, focus on the story when the story is happening. I'll also see, there's some pirates here saving somewhere. Probably do a running assassination. Alright, I think I have to, Alright, Kenway, I'm trying to get him to do this. There we go. Love it when you're just mashing the button to do just one action, and then Kenway just sits there doing nothing, because, like, some animation has to finish. Alright, so I got alerted these guys here, but that's alright. Knew I was gonna have to be doing some combat. The only way to avoid combat there was if I would have to stealthily go around, take down every guy one by one. And then from there, I could have done that running assassination, no problem. So I knew I was getting into some combat, probably. No likelihood. Alright, let's look at these treasure chests here. Somewhere around here. I have to find the entrance to that cave. Around. So, in the home stretch, over to the end of the game, I guess I'll just be... I'll try to start thinking about final conclusions about what I can, draw from this game, what I can say about the game. Nothing on my mind right at the moment, but I will be thinking about that stuff. Sure. Alright, I found the entrance here the whole time. Or was it? Actually, how the heck do you get in here? Where is the entrance to this? Oh, okay, you have to drop down. Gotcha. Found it. And this is actually, exploration like this is one of my favorite parts of open world games. Certainly there has been plenty of it in Assassin's Creed. This is also an entrance, I suppose. I don't know why I didn't see this before. I really like doing it. It creates... There's a lot of multi-purpose stuff. It allows you to enjoy the world that the developers here have built. Right? It allows you to delve into it. May have to do some combat here. Probably just climb up, right? Or Kenway can just, you know, not grab that branch like he's supposed to. Guy got killed by his own bomb. Okay. So right, exploration allows you to just enjoy the world that the developers have built. I mean, one of the main draws of an open world game had better be its open world, just interesting to look at while also explore, see the odds and ends. Okay, I don't know why Kenway is not just grabbing onto this branch here. There's no way to grab the branch otherwise. I just need him to do it. There we go. Like, there is no grab branch button, right? So I need him to detect the branch in order for him to grab onto it. See, I guess that's the best proof I can show. That shows that the platforming in this game is not as good as the previous Assassin's Creed games. There's just some reason the detection, the way like your character decides to move to different objects that he could potentially platform onto, parkour onto, is just off. Sometimes he makes the wrong decisions based on your input. Something like directions and places to stand that might seem obvious to you, like right in front of you. There's no other choice as far as where he could land on or grab. He still doesn't grab. So that's what I mean by the platforming awkwardness I've been talking about throughout this game, is that he doesn't grab onto the things you want him to. He doesn't land on the things you want him to at occasion. It seems to be at random. I guess the game's internal detection where Kenway can and can't go is just not as refined as the previous games, or not very well suited to these new types of environments that we are seeing in the more recent Assassin's Creed games. I guess traditionally we've been seeing more city environments, buildings, straight edges, things like that. Now that Assassin's Creed is including more natural environments, trees, and things like that, and rocks, I guess, these pillars. Well, I guess that's not really natural, but I guess there are some natural rocks, while also some, what are they? There are ruins that aren't straight edges anymore. They used to be straight edges of buildings, but now they're more weirdly shaped. I guess that's been part of Assassin's Creed before, ruins and oddly shaped structures, but not necessarily as much. They're rarely occurring. Here, I guess there's a lot more of it. More natural objects. Also, in terms of unnatural objects, man-made artificial buildings or structures, boats are also not necessarily like the buildings that we've been seeing in Assassin's Creed before. So I guess it makes sense that the systems brought over from previous games, even though that they were good back then, they may have needed more refinement in order to suit these new types of objects and structures. And there's a sort of awkwardness that is coming out of it. Like, the theory is that you might say that, well, Assassin's Creed has been doing parkour since forever, but I'm trying to think of why parkour might not function correctly anymore. I mean, I think it might have something to do with just the types of things you're parkouring on at this point in the series. More natural stuff like trees. I mean, Assassin's Creed 3, which introduced these like tree climbing portions of the game, also suffered from the same sort of parkour awkwardness that this one does. So since between that game and this game, I guess the developers did not solve the fact that the platforming just doesn't work quite well with these natural environments and these odd-shaped objects. They really just need buildings with more straight edges. The platforming system, the parkour system that has been the heart of Assassin's Creed, just did not translate as well to these new objects. They maybe needed more work. Okay, so it's actually, that cell is over there. How do I get there? That is a good question. It looks like I can get there from here. Now, it works most of the time, as you can see. I don't have too much trouble, but sometimes it can be frustrating. Sometimes I fall to my death because of it. So I guess that's one big thing you could say about Assassin's Creed 4, the more recent Assassin's Creeds, is that as the game is trying to evolve, as the series is trying to evolve, introduce different ways of doing your platforming, doing your parkour, the way the character moves around, does these really awesome feats of, physical feats, climbing, and running and jumping. It's having some growing pains. There's the evolution is not as smooth as one would hope. And that's like a big part of why, I guess, these most recent Assassin's Creed games are a little bit more awkward compared to previous ones. So the fundamental mechanics of traversing the world are just not refined, don't feel good. And I think that you need to get that stuff right. I think a lot of other things about the game could be bad, but if your core mechanics, the way you just traverse the world, were rock solid, felt really good, that would go a long way to making the game much more enjoyable, despite some of the less interesting aspects. So that's a big issue with this game for sure. And it's the same thing you could say about Assassin's Creed 3. Right. Take this guy down. And that said, what this game excels at the most is what we're not seeing right now, and that's the nauticals and the naval stuff. We're out at sea, that's where the game shines the most. Everything feels right there. It's all smooth sailing, as it were. What else is left here? Okay, treasure map. This way. And I think that's because most of the resources that went to making this game were probably spent on that naval portion, because it is, for this game in particular, unlike other Assassin's Creed games, that is the centerpiece. That is the main differentiating factor between this game and all the other Assassin's Creed games up until this one. So, with that in mind, maybe one of my thoughts about this is that because the naval stuff and the nautical stuff are so good, that the game focused more on that. That I kind of wish the game focused more on that, and if it went 100% on that stuff, would have been better overall. All right, I don't know if I'm gonna be doing a lot of these. Maybe as I approach the end of the game, maybe now is the time to get some of these. This will help me take down some of those legendary ships. So probably go after these, upgrade my ship, and then fight those legendaries. So I guess that's another big point as far as my overall take on the game. I love the naval stuff. It's great. I wish there was more of it. Focus 100% on that stuff, and then I think a lot of my issues with the game would have been solved. At least in theory. So, what else is left here? There's just a bottle, I think. This one. And that'll be it. Not to say that the on-land portions of the game don't need to exist, but have as little of it as possible. Now, I think the reason why the on-land stuff and the parkour and all that, the core systems of Assassin's Creed are still prevalent, or heavily prevalent in this game, is because those systems have been made. They exist, and it saves a lot of development time to bring that stuff over. Of course, there's development time in terms of adapting those systems to this new environment, but it is, I would assume, better than starting from scratch, right? And creating an entirely new game based on the ship combat and the sea life. And what better way to establish a shore party, shore activity, means of traversing land portions and bringing in systems and mechanics from previous Assassin's Creed games that have already greatly established the just the basics of movement and combat on land. Jumping, running, and climbing. All these things are Assassin's Creed. I think a lot of that has to do in parts to the name of the Assassin's Creed, the value of that brand. Ubisoft can't just abandon that. Because this game is ultimately part of the series, it has to have that stuff too. And it can't diverge fully from the if I go after the fort next, it can't diverge fully from those core things of Assassin's Creed 3, even though they may not transition very well sometimes. So in a perfect world where we didn't have to worry about things like brand value, and the fact that the name of Assassin's Creed is what sells and guarantees a certain level of quality to people who buy the games, I think in a perfect world, this would be a true offshoot about pirates totally, and forget the Assassin's Creed stuff, forget the Templar stuff entirely. Stuff is not necessary, I think. You make an entirely new experience, and intellectual property and all that stuff. And then we could focus 100% on this pirate lifestyle. I think that would have served the game quite well. However, that would have been a big risk on the publisher and developer of the game. Probably would not sell well because people don't recognize the IP, any new IP associated with it. I have to deal with these guys too. I guess I'm starting trouble with everybody. Alright, well, try and take down as many ships as I can. Pretty well now, being able to take down these ships. I don't want to spend too much time with boarding anymore. I just kind of just want to. I don't need to capture any ships. I will use one to repair, and the rest I will just take down. I tried to turn there, but turning radius is too big. Okay. I guess if I'm going to board anything, it'll be a non-hunter ships, because the hunter ships aren't the best in terms of resources. I could also find out what they have here. That one has like 130 and 5. Okay. So that one's not that great. That's the hunter ship. Ram it. Finish it off. I would say the only thing about the exploration so far, about just the overall experience of traversing the sea, doesn't lend itself well, is the fact that it doesn't really look that great or exciting on stream. I don't know, maybe it does. Maybe ship combat is exciting on a stream. But in terms of just regular playing by myself, enjoying the game for what it is, I think I could do the ship combat over and over again and never get bored, or won't get bored for quite a long time. So that's why I think the length of time I've been spending just doing the ship combat has been mostly fine for me. Only occasionally do I ever feel like there's a lot of busy work. I guess during the times that the exploration gets a little too dense, too much exploration, that's when I feel like there's a lot of busy work. Like that segment I was talking about in the previous Squire Mage flag. I need to get up there. The previous episode talking about the overall structure of the game. Alright, I need kind of to get up now, please. And that's that segment where there was so much of the story and the missions far apart to the point where you could basically only do exploration. That's when you get tired of it. I mean, too much of something that you like can be bad. I just figured need a little bit more mix of experiences in this game, or at least in certain sections of it. think when looking at it overall, the actual activities that you do in this game don't really add up to much. There's a lot less variety than you might think. I feel like previous Assassin's Creed games have had a greater variety of activities that have also been more interesting too to do as on top of that. I think I might actually be able to be needing to lower my wanted level soon, especially if I'm going to take down this fort here. Alright, that was a lot of combat. Sorry about that. I actually want to get stuff done, so I don't want to get bogged down in the combat too much. That's why I think one of the other things this game could need, and not necessarily a requirement, but I think it would have been benefited from something like this, are allies. Like the allies that we had in previous Assassin's Creed games since Brotherhood. They introduced that Brotherhood system of assassins where you recruit people to become part of your assassin brotherhood. You train them. You could also call upon them at any time in the game to help you out in combat or in missions, to do some sort of specific task, and there were a variety of different tasks that they could do. And just a shame that that didn't carry over, because I think that would have worked greatly in this game's favor, especially towards getting through the combat a lot faster in these later portions in the game. Because in the later portions of the game, you want to close out the game. You don't want to get bogged down in the combat that you've been doing for upwards of 40 hours now. I've been working on this combat for so long. You really want to get bogged down in that anymore. I think one way to introduce a new twist on the combat for the later portions of the game is introduce allies that could come in and help you, like allies who would have their own ships, call upon, help you in combat, or to help you board a ship. Like you could call on them to board a ship, for instance, and do the boarding process for you while you continue your combat. Attacking other ships. Alright. Can't see anything. Oh, there's apparently an island here. Crap. That's not gonna help me. Okay. Almost done. Need one more defense. Now that I've got everything almost upgraded all the way, it shouldn't be too difficult. It's hanging on by a thread. Ironically, I feel like I don't even feel like this. I think it's pretty much true that the amount of activities that you had to do in the game were greater amounts earlier on in the game, and then once you did those activities, then that was it for those activities. And the big one was the Templar hunt missions. There were only a handful of those, and once you were done those, then you're done with the Templar hunt missions. You don't have to do them anymore. And I guess that's greatly hurting the variety of things to do in the later portions of the game. So there were either more Templar hunt missions or another type of mission altogether that would fill in the place and allow for a little bit more variety, things to do. And so far, I think it's just been either explore and complete the map, get get all the treasure chests in a given quadrant, or do a mission. And there isn't a bunch of other things to do. Alright, how about Kenway, you actually kill the guy. There we go, that was a lucky bomb. Okay, so... I think one of the problems with this game is that, when you're talking about, when you're doing the non-main mission stuff, a lot of the various missions involve a lot of the same things, like doing hand-to-hand combat, or I guess melee combat with weapons. If you're doing a fort takedown, eventually you're just gonna do a lot of sword fighting, and that's very similar to doing combat that you might do when you're boarding ships, for instance, or doing naval contracts, or doing assassin contracts. They all involve very similar things. I guess the most different activity would be the assassin contracts, as those focus a little bit more on stealth than the rest. But you know, fort takedowns still involve a lot of combat. And naval contracts involve taking down ships and doing combat that way. It's in effect, they're very similar missions. They aren't really all that differentiated. Alright, well, see, there should be a naval contract here. Okay. And for some reason, naval contract is not showing up here. I don't know. Maybe I have to do this one first, and then I can do the naval contract on that one. Okay, so do general exploration. Another factor.
I would help you lose the hounds, Captain.
Exploring involves a lot of the same, doing a lot of the same things too. Involving, you know, just running around, platforming, getting all the treasure, chests. Yeah, I don't know. I think I might seem like I'm being a little too down on the game right now. That's because I think like the issues with the game are numerous, but don't necessarily impact the game overall. They're not necessarily, you know, making the experience as a whole that much worse. They're all just a bunch of little things that I just find a little irksome, that could be a little bit better. While the things that are good about the game are much grander things, and do make up for, you know, the large quantity of little things that bother me about the game. And that's why, like, when I talk about the good things about the game, I can just sum it up in just a few things. And like, the naval combat is really good. The story in the later portion of the game is fairly decent and takes up a little bit better, although still not that great. I wish the characters in here were a little bit better. I wish the story were a little bit more clear about what you were doing. I mean, focusing a little bit too much on vague things like collecting the observatory and what that means, why it's important. Not really explained all that much. Alright, how do I get down? I just have to drop. So ultimately it might seem like I am down on the game, but most of these things are little things that add up to making the game in general okay. Not my favorite Assassin's Creed 4, or not my favorite Assassin's Creed, that being Assassin's Creed 4. Not my favorite, but it's okay. It's pretty good. It's definitely worth experiencing this naval overworld that is so different from what the other Assassin's Creed games have to offer. Definitely worth playing for that, but it's also definitely not without its problems. So the one or two major great things about the game are big and awesome, while the problems that it has are small but numerous. So they kind of balanced each other out, and I would say in the end it falls in a sort of not mediocre. Better than that, I would say it's a good game overall, and worth playing for this new type of experience. That said, I'll accept the contract and I'll continue talking here. Greetings, privateer. It is time to take a stand against those Spanish contrabandists. Though they claim to be operating under orders of the Spanish crown, there are various ships carrying smuggled goods of a most pernicious nature. There we go. Will you help me end their tyranny? Sign Milo Randograph. Okay, sure. So I gotta sink some Spanish frigates and one Spanish frigate and 2 Spanish frigates. Hopefully there are some around here. So I just have to sink any ship that is Spanish. Alright. That is a Spanish brig. Sink 2 of these. Okay, so I just need to sink it. So I'll just finish it off. That's one. Keep looking for more. That is a schooner, okay. That is a frigate, and that's a brig. That's a frigate. So I want to engage combat with these guys while I'm near my fort here. The fort will help me take it down. So, being around these forts and around any ally ships shows the strength of having AI partners in the overall here. I mean, that stuff shows that it's actually possible. But there are no systems in the games, no mechanics allowing you to call upon them at will. You just have to hope that they are nearby and able to assist you. Alright, so we need Spanish brig. There's one over here. That is considered a brig. I can't see the ship, but it's somewhere around here. There we go. I believe that should be the end of the mission. There we go. Naval contract 6. So I wonder if that means the naval contract will spawn. Alright, here we go. Hunter ships. I can actually take these down now while I'm nearby my fort. this intimidating man of war. I can deal with it. Yeah, see, I'm getting help. Alright, so are kind of looking grim actually. Need to turn quickly as I can. Get back to my good old forts to help me out. Could also potentially board that ship there to help me repair. Ooh, okay. Concerned about my health here. Alright, so definitely want to repair. Actually, I don't necessarily need to repair because I'm heading back to the what is it? The fort, and the fort will have. At least I should be able to repair. So I think I'll just focus on the wanted level. Lower my wanted level a bit. Okay. It's going to be a really involved process, but gotta get through it. I don't know if I can reach him. Reach this guy. Okay, so I need, where are these scouts? One up here, right? How do I get up there? Because I climb it the hard way, I guess? I can't climb it the hard way. Alright, there's one scout. Some more crew as well. Well, I actually have the. I'm in range to get the flag, so I might as well. Do that now, if I can actually get up there. Okay, flag is destroyed, and I need to get one crew member right now. All right, my guys got one. AI dudes aren't necessarily reliable for actually killing the AI, the enemy AI, but repair. Oh, I said I was gonna lower my wanted level, right? All right, I can still do that. All right, so I'm gonna go back. Should be one more naval contract there. Maybe that fort is done. Yeah, any of these ships I can just board really quickly to lower my wanted level. I'm going to dock. There we go. That's what I want. Alright, so yeah, this is where I can repair. I can sell some beer and rum, of course. Okay, repaired, and is there any upgrades that I can actually get right now? Broadside cannons, okay. Sure. Well, I think that's it, right? Yeah, I'll take them. For sure, I'll take... Broadside cannons are really important. This will definitely help me take down the legendary ships now. Fully upgraded cannons. A lot of the other upgrades I have left are just, you know, mostly optional. Don't necessarily need to do them. Okay. Smuggler's Den. Greetings, privateer. This is a black day for liberty. One of my warehouses is located, it is true, in what was once a smuggler's den is being blockaded by a Spanish fleet. It is my fervent hope that you will free my merchandise from these imperialist oppressors. Okay, so this one actually involves another one of those smuggler's den activities, side quests, so probably be more stealth oriented once I get there at least. So it looks like I have to defeat a blockade, or sounds like I have to defeat a blockade. Okay, I'll use this one to lower my wanted level down 1. Okay, so I have to remember, wanted level. Go back down to 3, more manageable. 3. I mean, I could stay at 4. I suppose I can manage 4, but I don't want to be bogged down too much in combating stronger ships. 3 has been more than enough to making sure I always get resources. Ships always come to me, and I can get resources from those hunter ships that I take down. Well, let's focus on the Smuggler's Den. Alright, where is this thing? Okay, generally nearby. I can pick this thing up along the way. At this current pace, I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this quadrant in this episode here. That's okay. As I said, the next few episodes will be focused on finishing up the odds and ends of the map, reaching every single corner. And then from there we'll have a straight shot to the end doing missions until the whole thing is done, the whole story is over. Alright, so I spent a lot of the first part of this episode talking about, I guess, my general impressions of a lot of the different aspects of the game. I don't think I've discussed everything. I really have to think and rack my brain, make sure I talk about all the various aspects of the game, touch upon them as I conclude the overall experience. Those will be my overall conclusions. Alright, so Spanish ships first. There is a blockade around the Smuggler's Den, so I have to take care of them. Then after that, the Smuggler's Den itself. Can I open this? Oh, here we go. Wrong side. 43 out of 46 chests. Wow, that's almost done. Like, really, I am almost done. Only 3 more chests in the whole map. And the way I've been playing this, I think normally I'd play the game. I'd probably finish in about a week, even playing like this, or playing at this pace. The fact that I'm streaming or saving my playthrough of the game for only during the times I stream, that's why it feels like it's taking a whole lot of time, because it's spread out over sessions that are farther apart, rather than playing like during my free time every day. It takes months to finish this game rather than weeks. So playing it like that really feels like this huge grand adventure, with a lot of busy work, that is to be sure. I'm not gonna say that the entire experience was 100% meaningful. Where are these ships? Okay, I can see them now. Now, wouldn't it be cool to be able to call an ally? Help me fight these guys. I will shell these guys, of course. That's a lot of shits. Bad angle. One observation I could make, or one that I just thought of right now, rather. It's not like I'm holding this back, but really, because the way this game is structured in a more open world type of experience, Alright, I think I'm just gonna take it down. I want to spend so much time on these. Right, the observation I can make is that compared to the naval sequences, the more straightforward instance naval levels in Assassin's Creed 3, where technically speaking, because it came out first, that game gets credit for introducing the whole naval aspect to the Assassin's Creed series, although they were in more instance levels. By that I mean you play the level and then oh, it's just the blockade, okay. So there's no Smuggler's Den? I don't actually have to go against the Smuggler's Den itself. I guess there's a bunch of loot here. One final privateering contract is now available near... Okay, that's why I couldn't find the naval contract in that area. Because... Or in that fort. Because that is the last one. It has to be done last. Gotcha. Alright, so to finish my thought, comparison to the naval sequences in Assassin's Creed 3. I think it's kind of ironic the way that that game is able to actually offer more variety of naval-based experiences because of the way it's instanced. Because you just enter these levels, these sequences that have a beginning and an end, essentially like the main mission stuff. I don't want to board it. Take it down. Because they're like missions with a beginning and end. You just the way they worked is you went to the harbor master, any harbor master, and then you can select any naval mission that's available from a menu, essentially. A menu select. You don't go to the missions like you do here. Actually don't want to repair, I just want to take this down, so hopefully no more of that. Okay. Let's, since we're here, I guess I might as well do this island. I'll go ahead and work on this little island here. Okay, back to the Assassin's Creed 3 naval stuff. I actually think, although it wasn't as robust and refined as it is in this game, I mean, the instance way those levels work, from a level select, a menu select, doesn't compare to the freedom of being able to explore an entire world on your ship and access levels at your own pace that way. I think that is inherently superior to the level select. However, because of the level select, because they were more linear instance missions, they could create a wider variety of mission types on the sea, I think. While the naval experiences that we're seeing here, very similar, especially doing the ambient stuff, the ambient combat. It's largely similar. There's no... Once you do boarding, for instance, you basically know what boarding is going to be all about, and I guess by the time you are able to take down man-of-war ships, that's when you experience all the game has to offer as far as the naval stuff. Like, that's when it stops That's when you stop seeing anything new regarding the naval stuff in terms of actual objectives that you need to do while boarding. Alright, how do I get around here? Let's into climb around here like this, yeah. So ironically, I think more Assassin's Creed 3 has more variety in the naval stuff, and I think I might even enjoy some of those missions more than a lot of the missions in this game regarding naval stuff. Especially since it was my first time experiencing anything like that in Assassin's Creed. So I guess that had a big factor in it. That introduced it, so it was still huge, fresh and new to the series. Whereas here, the way it's presenting it is still fresh and new, but not quite as hard-hitting as... It can't quite be as hard-hitting as it was in Assassin's Creed 3, if you did play that game first. Another part of it, the naval missions in there, because they're individualized missions, have a beginning and an end, they can have their own individualized story arcs that can work better, more succinct and hard-hitting experiences that work better than the sometimes meandering overall naval sequence that this large game is, or this overall game is. Okay, so there's a thing here. We take that down. Get it. I can think of several examples where you are in the Assassin's Creed 3 naval missions, where each ship that came into the fray was its own big climactic moment. And I think it's like, because you were starting from scratch, you were starting from like a know-nothing ship that had barely any weapons to speak of. And then, like, the first time you would see a man of war, and they would call it Man of War! It was this huge, climactic event in that mission. And it was like this really, like, extensive, drawn-out battle to try, whittle it down and not take damage from the Man of War. Whereas here, we're taking down Man of Wars left and right, like they're nothing. Especially now. Maybe in the beginning of the game, I had that feeling of taking down Man of War ships. That same feeling that I had in Assassin's Creed 3 when I took down the very rare Man of War ships that that game had to offer. But after a while, even taking down the strongest Man of War ships in the game, besides the legendary ships, becomes so mundane. And I guess that's, you could say that's you could argue it's actually a plus in this game, that it shows a more realistic depiction of pirate life, in a sense, although it is still highly, highly romanticized and larger than life. Compared to Assassin's Creed 3 specifically, there's a lot less dramatized, and you're more sympathetic with taking down or living the pirate life. Or maybe not essentially, because I guess it doesn't really make that much sense for Kenway's small ship to be able to take down Man of War ship after Man of War ship after Man of War ship without being sunk itself. And I guess that defeats my point that I made. It's not really that realistic. I take that back. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's okay in the long run. Like, feeling that you're powerful enough to take down Man of War ships is, I guess, part of game's inherent power fantasy. It still gives you that good feeling of being able to do that. But I guess it's a different kind of drama, dramatic, climactic experience. How the heck do I climb up this? Climb up to get that. I wonder. Puzzle. Maybe I need to do this first. Unlock the last bar. So I think just because there were fewer overall missions or naval missions in that game, that allowed it to make each naval mission just a little bit more special. Now there were a lot of, you know, boring ones, you know, straightforward. Have to take down a few ships and then you're done. Oh, is this one of those things where you have to, like, get your ship and then try to get on top of it from there? I actually don't think that's possible. How do I climb up this thing? Like, I really don't think I'll be able to get my ship close enough to do that. I guess it's worth a try. No handholds anywhere here. I might have to give that a shot in order to get this thing here. Get my ship around. Try to point at it. So when we see something like a man of war ship coming, there isn't that huge climactic moment in the mission, in the experience anymore, just like they were in Assassin's Creed 3. Just because they are a lot more common now, and being able to take them out is part of the game. It's a necessary part of the game too, but I guess ultimately it's not worse. It's just different. You just have to accept the fact that it is a much more different experience than Assassin's Creed 3's more instanced experiences. And they just have their strengths and weaknesses, so I really don't think that it is worse to have it that way. Right, this is actually tough to align correctly. Alright. Start getting... let go of it, like... hopefully I can get to it from here, I don't know. I just can't get close enough. I wonder how you can do it so they get close enough. Oh, maybe I have to get to it from that side or that side. I'm sure there's a way to do it using the ship. I'm pretty sure that this is actually how you're supposed to do it. Just a matter of making sure I get close enough. Alright. See if I can just turn my ship around. Point right at it. It's like a weird little puzzle. Okay, how can I get on this building? Alright, come on. Hopefully this is close enough now. No, I don't think so. Yeah, that's why I don't think it's gonna work. Just can't get close enough. How the heck do you get this then? There has to be some sort of trick that I'm missing. Some handhold anywhere. I already tried the tree approach. This doesn't get close enough. I can't jump off this way. There must be some secret to it. Anyway, doesn't want to jump as far. It's dangling there. Oh, okay. Guess you just have to close enough. I was trying this thing with the ship, and it's all crazy. And it turns out you can just grab it anyway. Okay, well, now that I'm through that, let's see. There is more secret and two assassin contracts. Those are the worst islands. Means I have to come back here. Second one. All right, well, let's get that last secret.
This is more like it.
Okay. This does look familiar. Maybe not. Maybe this is actually underground somewhere? No. No. Maybe it's underwater, actually. Go under one of those diving sequences where you get that treasure. Okay, so assassin contract. Treasure's pirate captain wishes to capture Fort Chinchorro for himself. Don't let him. Alright. Okay, so it's back at the fort. Okay, so while I'm here... Actually, I'm going to be heading back, right? There's another assassin contract. So I'll make sure I have to make sure I get this one here as well. Also, there's this little island. I can't forget about that. Oh, there's a treasure right there that I missed. Didn't think that there would be something beyond here, but that's okay. I will be heading back here to the second assassin contract anyway, so any other treasure around here I can do. Alright, so 2 assassin contracts and then this island will be done.
Give me some speed! Sun's up! Let's get moving! Loose oar and crimps out to the wind! I know she's a good sailor! Now prove it, my friend!
Okay, make sure we're going the right way in the map. Alright, yeah, I can't go this way. I have to go around the island. Although there is something here. Suppose I could either get that now or get it the second time and come back. Might as well do it now. Kind of out of the way. I guess the special experiences that this game has to offer, as far as the naval stuff, Assassin's Creed 4 has to offer, compared to Assassin's Creed 3, is that the big climactic moments in Assassin's Creed 3 were taking down the man-of-war ships. That was like the first time you could actually do that in the Assassin's Creed series. Taking down a huge man-of-war ship with your rinky-dink little pirate ship. Huge monumental task. Felt really good, and the entirety of those missions were set up to culminate to that moment. So there was like the narrative experience of those missions were very well done, making you feel like you did that accomplishment. Now in Assassin's Creed 4, you can't recreate that climactic moment again, especially if you played Assassin's Creed 3. Just because of the great number of man-of-war ships that you can take down in this game, it just becomes more mundane. It won't feel special for the first few times. It only approaches that sort of level of dramatic climax the first few times you do it. But instead of that, the game does have to offer a few missions in which you actually pilot a man-of-war ship and you feel that power under your fingertips, and you're able to destroy any number of other ships like nothing, like they were nothing. Feel like you have a ship that's clearly vastly more powerful than yours, than your regular ship, this Jackdaw here that we're piloting right now. And then of course I can't forget about the legendary ships. First time I went against those and went against one of those and got my ass handed to me. I'm sure those are essentially the you know, what this game has to offer on the level of taking down a man-of-war ship in the Assassin's Creed 3 naval missions. The legendary ships are those same sort of dramatic climactic moments. Taking down a beast of a ship that can easily cut through your hull armor, take you down in just a few hits. You really have to plan, strategize your hits, take cover, you know, do everything you can to make sure you don't die. An exhaustive battle. I look forward to taking those on, taking them down. So, you know, maybe I was a little too hasty in saying that Assassin's Creed 3's naval missions had those experiences as an edge compared to this game, because, okay, this game, now that I think about it, has those experiences too. They're just very rare considering the overall length of the game, being so very long. And that's totally fine. Like, the fact that they're rare makes them even better. Makes them even more climactic when you do take them down. Only 4 legendary ships in the entire map. And you pretty much have to take them down when you're fully upgraded, or you don't even stand a chance. Ah. Oop. Okay, I don't know, I'm waiting for Kenway to... Alright, unpredictable what he's gonna do. There we go. That's better. Alright, so I'm gonna do this assassin contract. I think that's gonna have to be the end after I do the contract itself. And next stream I will focus on trying to finish this quadrant and finish up the exploration. I think maybe, well, that'll be, tomorrow will be the last streaming day of this week. Next episode I'll focus on the rest of this quadrant. Finish up that stuff, exploration. This mission here, of course, too. And after that, I think I will do... Next week, I'll be doing the legendary ships and experiencing those climactic battles that I've yearned for in this, you know, later portion, later half. You know, maybe that's why I feel like there is not as much variety in the experience, is because those specific types of battles, actually do count as another type of activity you can do. The legendary ships. You just can't really do them efficiently or effectively earlier on. Those are things that you have to look forward to near the end of your experience when you're ready to tackle them. So for now, I forgot to count them, but I think counting those, it helps a lot that those legendary ships exist, providing that variety of experiences. Quite a variety of experiences that I really want in this game. Alright, I'll lead these guys to the fort. I'll slow myself down. Just want to get to that assassin contract. We're nearing the end of the stream here. Maybe my opinion on the lack of variety of experiences in this game. Could be more activities. Will be alleviated somewhat once I go after the legendary ships properly. That said, there's an argument to be made about the fact that you can only do them so far into the game, towards the end actually, that for the majority of players, they won't even get to experience that to begin with, just because they won't make it to the end. And, you know, for a huge part of the audience playing this game, don't finish game experiences. They'll essentially, you know, the legendary ships will essentially be irrelevant. Like, it doesn't matter that they're part of the experience because you can't even get to them until much later on.
Devil they call him, but I got one thing he don't have. This fort. I'd love to see the devil try to get past my men. He won't, of course, but if he did, oh, I'd show him hell. I bet you would.
If you'd ever fought the half-guffer, then you'd know what I mean.
Tell it to the sea. I'm sick of your boasting and speaking in tongues.
You'll regret saying that when you're face to face with a monster of the north. It'll swallow you and your ship with it. And any whales that happen to be nearby at the time.
If it was no match for your swell head, it don't scare me.
It's really cool. I think one of the few or only assassin contracts that actually have this ambient dialogue going on. Ah, there he is.
Oh, you look a bit pale, friend.
Okay, so there's a sharpshooter there. So probably want to take down the sharpshooters first. The snipers are. Okay, I think I'll be able to reach him before he spots me, so I'll just do that. And there's another one over there. I'll just put him to sleep. Alright. Contract completed. No combat initiated. About as good as you could hope. Okay, so with that, I think my ship, and call it a stream. From here, maybe I'll just stay on the land. I want to make sure I don't end up warping anywhere weird. Yeah, I'll just stay here. So, thank you all for watching. Anyone who tunes in on both either Twitch or in the archived versions on YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening to my commentary and analysis on the game so far. We're approaching the end. Really excited to see what is left in the story and what ultimately the story and the game has been leading up to. Because it has been more of a mystery, it has been very ambiguous about that experience. You don't really know what the whole point of this is. I guess it's technically a weakness because I think in terms of motivating you through the story, it would be better to have that a little bit more clarity as to what you're going after and why it's important. Alright, so with that, we'll be finishing up a lot of the exploration next part, which will be next stream, and then probably finishing the game next week. Within the next, I don't know how much the game is, but I would estimate maybe 3 to 4 parts at the pace I'm going. So, with that in mind, if you want to catch up on the stream, go over to my YouTube archives at youtube.com/yamstersam, and you can also follow me on Twitter at yamstersam, and of course you can always follow me on Twitch to know when I go live, and can watch me live, play this live at twitch.tv/yamstersam. So until the next episode, I will see you later.